everyone. Welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour, inviting you to get social with us online. That is, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BxRx TV and like us on Facebook at Open BxRx Television. And of course, while you're there, you can follow moi on Instagram, FB, Twitter, Insta Stories, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So it is Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're going to continue celebrating. And today we have two Latina counselors from New York City who have created the Wise Women Pride podcast, a show that explores the different seasons women typically encounter in life through the lens of 4 female archetypes, also known as the Pride Sisters. And joining us to tell us more about the Women's Pride podcast, our co-hosts, please welcome founder of the Falcon Network, Jeanette, Torruella, and Director of Development, Lourdes Figueroa. Hello and welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being here with us and taking the time, because I know counselor's job is never done, right?
That's correct.
Well, let's start with this wonderful concept of the archetypes, because I was trying to really navigate through it, and so first, of course, just provide us with some insight as to how the Falcon Network was established and the expansion that's occurring. And then from there, we'll dive into the archetypes, because I find them very fascinating.
Sure. So I created the Falcon Network, I think in 2016. And in 2016, it was still an idea, but it was definitely a passion of mine to work with coaching people, specifically women and families. I find sometimes as Latinos aren't always open to counseling, but they'll be open to working with a coach, and working to through some goals. And so I found that using my skills as a counselor in coaching really helped people to open up to the idea of counseling if they needed it, or just helping them work through whatever goals they wanted in coaching. So it's a good combination. I've seen women who are in therapy and also working with me as a coach. So it's an enhancement to personal development, and it could be a great platform to kind of, a gateway to counseling.
But no, I get it. It's like it's a wonderful platform to attain tools to navigate through life, because especially during these times, I mean, I think we all need it. And and I do understand that you're both counselors and coaches. So let's have a conversation with Lourdes about her role as the Director of Development for the Falcon Network. Welcome.
Thank you. So I'm working with Jeanette really more so this year than ever. Jeanette came with this idea, and she told me that this was in the works in 2016, but it was always an idea. And when, during our late hours of working together in our office space and decompressing from the day's, tragic crises, unexpected crisis of every single day, we began to talk about, what if these things occurred? What if? And I always said this to Jeanette. I said, somebody should record this conversation that we're having. This is something that interests not just our students and our school building leaders and the school community at large, but this is something that hits home. It hits home to the family, to the development of, the healing process in a family. Like, what does that look like? Why don't we talk about these things? Mm-hmm. But it was a lot of just great ideas that happened in our room. And because of Jeanette's great creative energy, we have the Falcon Network. And we have
awesome.
Women Pride. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then there's what I didn't say at the top of the introduction is that I know Jeanette from way back from when she was a New Eureka Rule, a member of this amazing arts, improv group that had a lot of political undertones within their humor. And you guys really left an impact on our community. So it was quite lovely to re-engage with you on unfortunately on the sad circumstances, our beloved Angelo Lozada who transitioned. But after reuniting with you, I've been following you since and just really observing and admiring the path that you've chosen. And I know that you're in the process of attaining your PhD.
Yes.
I know, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. But I love this concept. I mean, yes, we're here to talk about the podcast, but I wanted to set it up a little bit so that our viewers understand that that it's important for us to just be with each other in our different chapters, right? And sometimes people, they kind of fade off into other directions, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're the same person, right? It doesn't mean that we're not the same or that we're that much different, just like you're saying, enhance. And that's what you're offering as a service. And so this concept of wise women pride sisters, the maiden, the warrior, the mother, and the crone. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And please do elaborate, because I really want to know.
Oh, we're only starting, girl. Like this is gonna expand. There's so many things down the pipe that's coming regarding the Pride Sisters, and I'm really excited about it. I'm always going to be an artist, and once an artist, always an artist. So yes, my background, I have a theater background, but that also led me into counseling. So I combined it to the podcast is my moment to kind of like combine the formal knowledge that I have with the experience that I have of being a performer and reaching and connecting with others. But in regards to the Pride Sisters, it really came out of a workshop that I was doing, a group of women that I was coaching. And in that process, like they got something from it, but I got so much more, I think, from working with them. And the Pride Sisters really came out of that experience, and how we can be in different seasons in our lives, and how these seasons are not linear, meaning you're not a crone just when you're older and menopausal stage or whatever. Like I have met, and I know Lourdes can attest to this as well as a counselor, I have met 16-year-old girls who are crones, who have so much wisdom because of the life experiences that they've gone through. And I have met women who were in their 80s who were maidens and still look at life from a fresh and from a learning lens. And just embracing the newness of life. And that's the maiden. So you can be any of these Pride Sisters at any point in your life. And sometimes these Pride Sisters are helpful. And sometimes if you have too much of them, they could be overwhelming and you're off balance.
Right.
So on the podcast with Lourdes, that's what we talk about. I don't know if you want to add to that, Fig.
Yes, well, I wanted to add to the fact that the archetypes almost give us an excuse to talk about them as if we were talking, like you always have people say, I have a friend who might want to see a therapist because she's going through, and the friend is you, really, right? So the archetype is somebody we can use to understand our behavior, understand our process and where we are, and it supports us because it immediately connects us to community. So I'm not the only person going through this issue. And we may be bringing up, blended families. We may be bringing up issues like how to heal from sexual abuse or violence.
Or divorce.
Right, but under the umbrella of an archetypal type, right? And that's what I love about it. Like for me, it is such here's a door, let's see how many people come in.
It's lovely. It's lovely. It's clever. And thank you for breaking it down for me. And I wish we had more time, but unfortunately this isn't a podcast. So our segment is up. But but I do want to just share with our viewers the note that we're ending on is very, very welcoming, right? Because they created these archetypes, right, that are being used as metaphors, but they allow you to kind of almost float through them, right, depending on where you are in life.
Yes.
And again, it's really just having the ability to find a safe space that is offering you these tools so that you can navigate through life a lot more efficiently and most importantly with joy.
Absolutely.
Balancing.
Balance.
I got it. I think
Balance and joy.
balance and joy.
Vámonos para allá.
Yeah, vámonos para allá. That's where I want to be. Bueno, thank you ladies for taking the time. I wish we had more time, but that was lovely. And
Thank
congratulations
you.
on now expanding into a podcast. Your website is awesome. I highly recommend that you guys scroll through that website as well, because there's blogs in there. And then again, of course, there's the Wise Woman podcast, which is available on Spotify. And thank you again, Jeanette Torruella. Torruella, I said it right. And Lourdes Figueroa. And you guys, for more information on both these ladies and the services they're offering, you can visit the Falcon Network.com. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about some fitness activities that you can enjoy right here in the Bronx. Don't go anywhere.